the German army was the greatest force in the world. In nearly 5 years of war, we and our allies have been smashing that army, destroying its power of conquest and edict. With the decay of their armed might, Germany's leaders have fallen into discord. The first cracks are beginning to show in Europe's castle of ill fame. Was it a plot by the generals against the Nazis? Was it an excuse for the Nazis to purge the generals? The point is that our greatest effort is called for now, and things may happen. This is the Crimea, and though events have moved so fast in Russia that the German defenses are now crumbling at the rear guards of the Reich, Sebastopol victory is just released to Moscow cinemas, and we present it here. In 1942, the Germans took Sebastopol after a siege of 8 months, plus an assault of 4 weeks. In 1944, the Red Army recaptured Sebastopol after 17 days of siege, and an assault of 3 days. The story began in 1943, when Red Army soldiers of the 4th Ukrainian Front advanced from Melitopol to the Perikop Isthmus. Large numbers of German and Romanian troops were trapped, and in the chosen time in 1944, the battle for the Crimea began. Under the command of General Tolbukin, an army stormed across the Perikop Isthmus. Near Perikop they crossed a shallow Sivash, called the Putrid Sea. They called it putrid even before the Germans had it. And so, wallowing grimly through the Sivash, Red Army tank men rumbled upon the shores of the Crimea. They found the first evidence of German disintegration on this front. Trainloads of equipment abandoned. German and Romanian forces abandoned them in a flight southward. As with the Italians in North Africa, the Germans beat their allies to it in the flight, but many were taken prisoner. Thus the conquering army began its march from Perikop, and in the meantime from the Kerch Straits in the east, a maritime army was attacking under the command of General Yeremenko. This was the once prosperous town of Kerch, but the 5 German and 7 Romanian divisions left to hold the Crimea were thinning out. The Red Army advance was gaining speed. The 4th Ukrainian front men on the right flank and the Maritime Army on the left swept on to capture 3 more important strongpoints, Eupatoria, Feodosia, and Simferopol. 2 of those places, typical of the Crimea, had been health resorts for Soviet workers, but they proved a death trap for the Huns. They were places where the palaces of princes had been made into a rest home or a sanatorium. Part of the reason why Russian poets called this place the Golden Peninsula. Now, of all the Crimea remained the fortress of Sebastopol. You are watching the writing of a page in history, and for part of this, we present the film record made by Germany for Germans, a captured Nazi newsreel showing the attempted evacuation of the Hun by way of the Black Sea. As usual, the mighty master race reveals his barbaric mind by driving away captured civilians to be his slaves. But his last-minute desperate attempt to get away calls down the fury of the Red Air Force and the Soviet Black Sea Fleet. 69 German transport ships and many other vessels were destroyed. They evacuated into hell. partisans who hamstrung the invaders from within their own lines could now come out into the open to join their comrades of the Red Army. The last assault upon the fortress of Sevastopol was about to begin. 3 days of battle blasted them from 3 lines of deep-dug concrete. Contribution to Germany's defeat. 3 days nearer to the end of darkness and terror. Nearer to the dawn of a new world that can learn to laugh again.